right. So I guess we will begin with introductions. I am Esoterica. You guys can call me Erica. You guys can call me Esoterica. You can call me whatever your heart's desire. I will answer to almost anything. Let's see. I am a freelance author for Onyx Path Publishing. I've recently worked on two projects. I can't say much more than that, but it's very exciting. I'm excited to be a part of the family, excited to be part of the work. They do really great things there, so I'm very excited. Aside from that, I am a stay at home wife. I take care of my husband and my dog. And if I'm not running games, which I usually am, or I'm not playing in games, which again I usually am, I am artistic. I like to paint. I like to draw. I like to bake. I'm not really that exciting of a person, but that is a bit about me. So we will now go in order from the first person on my screen, who is Asher.
I'm a student, husband, father of two. Besides that stuff, I'm hoping one day to publish comic books, freelance, through Indiegogo or something like that. I also enjoy a good model, that's some giant robots. So, uh, haven't really role played in a long time, and it's my first time role playing over Discord, but it's really exciting.
I hope it's a good experience for you. So my screen order got messed up because we lost Cal. Um, but we can continue with Katie, who is next.
All right. I'm Katie. I work from home. I do kind of some tech consulting stuff. Um, yeah, pretty much that. And I've got two little kids that stay home with me. And when they let me do other things, I like to bake. I do photography. I sew a little bit. Sometimes I paint. I'm not very good at it, but it's fun. And yeah, kind of the benefit of everything shutting down has been having so much more time to play role-playing games because all the Discord stuff got so much better.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. And I've been dying to play Werewolf for many, many, many years now. So this is just the best.
Katie was originally going to be in a Werewolf the Forsaken game. I was going to run at TriCon this past weekend. Unfortunately, I was not able to make TriCon, so we're both very excited that she can be here. So, yay.
I think a full campaign is way better than one shot. So
Yeah,
it worked
yeah.
out well.
There you go. So, next on my list is Morgan.
Yep, that's me. I'm Morgan, Erica's husband. I'm an IT manager. I've also been able to work from home for the past however long it's been since the world went crazy. Um, do a lot of tabletop, online tabletop, I suppose now. Play a lot of video games in my spare time, um, and have been very, very involved in a lot of the Onyx Path game lines and playing and running them for many, many years. So it's definitely one of my favorite pastimes.
I guess while we're waiting for him to connect, we will continue on to Lorcan.
Hi, my name is Lorcan. You can call me Wes or Weston. I am a volunteer editor for a nonprofit. I also like to play video games, and I've really been wanting to get into Forsaken for a long time now. I have some experience with other tabletop games, but this is definitely one I've really been looking forward to.
Good. I'm glad. I'm excited that this is something new for you guys in one way or another. So I'm happy that this is going to be a learning experience for us all. This is my first time running. It's not my first time running Werewolf Forsaken, but it is my first time running Werewolf, well, any game for this large of group. So I'm excited for that. We have a nice big pack, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
So Cal, you are the last person. You're actually the second person, but you are the last person on the list. So, tell us a bit about yourself.
Right, so I'm Cal, which is short for Cal Ravel. I'm a writer and artist. I work on a bunch of freelance stuff, none of which I can talk about yet, but it's sort of getting places. I also work in theater, musical theater, that kind of thing. Also stuff I can't talk about yet. Like I'm not very exciting. It's just like I work on stuff, none of which I can name. Just I might be lying, but I'm not. Have you been doing like specific questions, like kind of just about how long we've played role playing games, or that kind of thing? Or I'm sorry.
You can tell us whatever you want to tell us. Yeah, everyone's kind of been talking a little bit about how
Cool.
long they've been playing and what they play.
Yeah, I've been playing since the late '90s, I want to say, and then like I started off with storytelling systems, so it's been with me for a bunch of years, and it's still my favorite. But I barely ever get to play it, so I'm really excited about this game because usually when I join gaming groups, it's always like, "Do we want to play D&D?" or "Not at all." It's like it's never really an option. So I'm really hyped to play in this group. Yeah.
Yay! All right, guys, that means that it is time for the first hunt. Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
All right, so I briefly went over this in important information. What this is going to look like is everyone is going to go through one at a time. They're going to have a focus scene. They're going to tell us about their character. They're going to tell us how they met at least one other character in the pack. You can define how the relationship is. You can just say something as simple as, we met at Kmart. The important thing to remember is that you are describing things from your character's point of view. So Asher's character could think that he's best friends with Morgan's character, but Morgan's character might be like, that guy is a dick and I don't like him. Like, whatever. So it is all based on your perception, and there is no wrong answer as long as no one reneges what anyone else has said. So, like, Cal can't be like, well, I met Katie's character at Kmart, and Katie can't be like, or Cal could say that, but Katie can't then be like, no, we didn't meet, or we met at Starbucks. She can, well, I didn't see him there, so I didn't know that was the first time we met, but she can't say, no, we didn't meet, if that makes sense. So that's going to be the first step. The second step is mostly on me. It's when we introduce the prey. It's also when we get to start introducing potential packmates. So, we'll go through, and there's no real turn order to this part. Everyone just kind of throws out ideas, and what sticks, sticks. We had a human packmate who called us about a rat infestation, or one of our wolves was attacked by something in the woods and now we're going to investigate, something like that, introducing packmates and periphery characters. Then we're going to have a second group of focus scenes. It's going to be the hunt. Everyone's going to get a chance to show off what they're really good at, what they're not so good at, really show off their character. And you can do this also bringing in other packmates. You could do it from your point of view and involve packmates. You could do it from a packmate's point of view. Maybe some wolf-blooded who hunts with you is telling the story. Whatever you want to do. You guys have a lot of creativity here, and it's really cool the more you take it. And then we go in for the kill. And that is where the dice rolling really begins. Does anyone have any questions about it before we start?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will start in order then again with Asher. And Asher, tell us about your character. What does he do? Who does he know?
Okay, well, let's see. So, Lee, he was born into a generational poverty situation, but he clawed his way out of it. But when he had his first change, he lost all that stuff he'd gained. And so he's starting over, and he's attacking the Oath of the Moon, trying to gain the same sense of belonging and duty he gained in his mortal life. So for him, Portland is a new start. And who has the other Ithair, the shaman character?
Oh, wait.
Yeah. I was thinking Lee could have met your character in the shadow, since they both,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
specialize in that sort of thing, exploring in the shadow. Anything else I should say? Or next?
No, that was really good. You can explain, like I said, more about your character if you want. But that was pretty thorough. That was a pretty good example of what we're looking for in these first focus scenes. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, a couple more things is I think I mentioned he's got a spirit buddy who is related to the Floods the Lands. It's a dewdrop spirit, morning dew spirit.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, it's much cuter than Flooded Spirit, I guess. My thought is that he actually, I think I read before that Ithairs often have, they can often have a closer connection to the Hissel, and so he's been seeing that spirit for a very long time, long before he knew about the truth of the world, and that spirit has helped him a couple times in his life. Both before and after his first change. So he's very close to that spirit. He also has a ex-wife that they divorced after his first change, and she thinks that he's going through basically a mental break, midlife crisis, something like that. And it's funny because I picked the ex, but she's actually more like I think it's called like the patient or something, the person who's trying to get you to go through rehab in the examples. She's like a psychologist or something. So that's another bit about his character, is that he's got these different connections pulling him two different directions. Mostly he's going towards more spirit, but he also gets pulled back towards the physical world too.
Very good. Cal, tell us about Richard and who Richard knows.
Right, so Richard is an Iron Master's Crescent Moon. He was born in Pacific City, where he lived most of his life. Never really thought about his life being anything special or unique, except for the fact that he would sometimes, out of the corner of one eye, see something like shadows or lights, or kind of like figures that people didn't really seem to see. When he was younger, he had sleep paralysis, which seemed to go away for, well, I say quote unquote sleep paralysis. I'm not trying to make light of like the actual condition that people do suffer from. In his case, it was just really actually seeing spirits and not being able to internally deal with it, I suppose. And one night in his 30s, he kind of looked out the window, like, because couldn't sleep. It was like a sleepless night, and saw a kind of glowing figure. Like he still can't really remember what it looked like or what it was, but only that it was something unearthly that he really wanted to check out what it was. So he went into the yard to go check, and it had gotten further afield, so he kept following it. And he can't really remember because of like how he ended up running from Pacific City all the way to Portland, because that's like a 2-hour drive at the very least, and on 2 feet that would take 9 or 10 hours, but he was definitely not on 2 feet for some of the journey. And just he cannot remember a single thing about what. I mean, besides these like little bits and pieces, he can't really remember or make in his head like a full picture of what happened. He woke up outside of the city limits of Portland afterwards and kind of assumed that that was some kind of sign. He was found by the Iron Masters of Portland, who kind of pulled him in, explained everything to him, and then he definitely started seeing it as a kind of portent that he was being called to Portland by something, even though again he has like even the slightest idea of what that spirit was or even wanted. But he's become very focused on the idea of uh, protecting the city and kind of like tending to the city and making sure that things are like safe, that the shadow is safe, that the spiritual reflection of the city keeps us safe as the material does. Works at City Hall as a phone operator, and he pretty much seemed to have his life together when Quinn walked into it. Who's a younger who he was introduced by the elders of the tribe, who kind of maybe as a test or maybe as just a way of putting both of them somewhere, told him to basically house her while she's looking for accommodation of her own and while she's looking for like a proper job, and to kind of mind her and like kind of like be careful that well, I mean, it's not condescending, we're more kind of like people like take care of people, like, and that sort of thing. And I'm gonna say they met like kind of at a sort of not like an official tribal meeting, but more kind of like a casual thing where they just all joined and said, okay, you two sort of like share the apartment. Well, I mean, Rich's apartment really, which he's paying for, but he's actually kind of enjoying having somebody around, including her Dachshund, who we already decided on, which I love. And
Heck, puppy.
yeah, he has his own personal totem, which is a small black cat with kind of almost like bright eyes that glow like a. I think the color changes, but like it's like neon, not like street signs sometimes like neon signs, but like the cat itself is like matte black, like it doesn't have any it's like a shadow of a cat more so than a cat. I'm not sure whether the dog can is aware of the cat spirit. Again, I'm going to leave that up to Katie. Yeah, and he's pretty happy with sort of like where he is at this point in his life. But yeah. No, sorry, that's all I've got.
I like
Oh, I'm sorry.
that.
I should have addressed when he met Asher. He was intrigued and kind of like finding somebody else who would know about the shadow. But since they're kind of like both new to Portland, he's sort of like hoping that Asher's character will also sort of like grow to love Portland the way that he has, but he's not being kind of like the preachy about it, like, oh, you must join, you must join us, whatever. It's not that type of situation. But yeah, sorry. It was a bit much. Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have Katie. And Katie is playing Quinn slash Sasha. I can't say that very fast.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a tongue twister there. So everybody in the pack only knows her as Quinn, and as far as they know, like she just is Quinn. She's a little bit of a mess right now. Anybody that asks her really anything about her past just got super vague answers like, "Oh, I'm I'm from the East Coast. Yeah, don't worry about family. That they're over there. It's not a thing. Don't worry about it. Um, so she is new to the area, really new to everything. Um, I feel like Richard is the only werewolf that she knew before being introduced to everybody else. And she just kind of wound up, was working her way west to get away from whatever it is she's getting away from. And kind of got picked up doing something dumb because she doesn't know anything about anything. Like, what am I seeing? What is happening? Why am I here? Why does everything suck? Um, you all kind of get the impression that she is in over her head. She doesn't like anything about the street just goes right over her head. She's like, what do you mean that's a bad idea? You can't just do that. You mean what? So she's a little lost and is very thankful that Richard has given her a place to hang out that is relatively safe and is just looking forward to learning some things, seeing what's up.
Okay.
And she has a dog.
And she has a
Black
dog.
Dachshund, who is twice as spoiled now as he used to be.
Which I'm sure he loves.
Oh yes, don't they all? Not at all even the tiniest bit scared of the werewolves. Like, just as big as them. Never mind, he weighs 6 pounds.
I love it. He thinks he's the alpha, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next we have Morgan, who is going to be playing Lauren.
Yeah. So Lauren would be in her mid-20s right now, but actually went through her first change in her late teens aboard an aircraft. Didn't end well for the aircraft, and ended with a little crater on Mount Hood that Lauren walked out of after that was all said and done. But she's spent some pretty significant time as a werewolf on her own, not really understanding what it was all about, but understanding, feeling that instinctual need to hunt, being gradually introduced to the spirit world through her own adventures. I think that what's probably likely, if the Ithair spend any significant time in the shadow, is that she probably would have run into Lee at some point, pursuing prey, spirit prey from the gauntlet into the shadow, as part of harrying it into its hiding place, and might have come across him there, I think.
Cool.
Okay. And then finally we have Wes, who is playing Casimir.
Yes, I am playing Casimir Heartwood, a Rahu Blood Talon. He's had a bit of a weird couple of past months essentially before this. He had a run in with the world of vampires before he even got related to any of the werewolf stuff. So he was going out with his friends at a club. Weird things just started happening there, and then before he knew it, he was ghouled after a while. He was basically serving this vampire, and he was being tutored and taught all the things until one night he had his first change, and he hasn't seen his would-be sire since then. When he woke up, he just tried to go back to his home in Hillsborough, where he and his family and a lot of his friends lived. But he had to run in with the Pure, who tried to brainwash him. But then finally, the Forsaken rescued him in those outer areas outside of Portland, and they trained him. And he's just very mad about all these people trying to control him. So he has, as the kids say, woken up and chosen violence. He trained and was accepted into the Blood Talons, and he's just he has a particular hatred for the Fire Touch because they were the ones who tried to like convert him to their side, and he has returned to Portland to settle unfinished business with the vampire that controlled him, basically. But he's not really sure what that means. He's not sure what he wants to do with that. But I guess I would say, in terms of how he met someone else, I guess. How about it? I maybe ran into Lee in maybe how about like the very nightclub where all the weird stuff started, and like Casimir is trying to find trying to retrace the steps that led him to where he is now. So he went to that nightclub to try to find any evidence of where his vampire was, and maybe the two of them looked at each other and realized what the other was, and Casimir recognized that, hey, I'm alone, I need a pack right now. Oh, and I do have a wolf buddy spirit. She's called Forest Wolf, and she just follows Casimir around. He doesn't exactly know where she came from or like why she started to follow him around and help him, but she's a very single-minded spirit, but she likes to follow him and sort of pick up after the remains of his hunts against other spirits. So
Okay.
I thought a connection with Casimir, it's kind of a tangential connection, but Lee was part of one other pack before this one, and they're the ones who taught him the basics about being a werewolf, kind of. They're the ones who helped him join his tribe and teach him about occult and spirits and stuff. But the point is that pack got pretty much wiped out, except for Lee and his alpha, and his alpha was ashamed, and so the alpha joined the Fire Touched. And so there could be a connection, since Casimir was talking to local Fire Touched, or they were manipulating him, attempting to. Could be they could have a mutual acquaintance.
Also, there could be one thing. I mean, so basically, like, when he's not working at work or at home, Richard, like he loves going clubbing kind of like after hours, so he might have been. I mean, that's a bit too much coincidence, maybe, for three characters to be like in the same club at the same night, but might have been.
maybe, yeah. I mean, weirder things have
There's
happened.
something weird with the spirits that day.
Yeah.
Everybody followed them there.
That's true.
Spirits were in a
Gwen could
good
have been
mood.
there too.
Yeah.
I
All
Maybe
paths
that's where she
converge.
worked.
I think
I'm just trying to think why Lee was in a club.
Yeah, sorry.
Followed the spirits.
Yeah, I was following the spirit.
Oh yeah, it just exited the shadow right. I was in a club.
I think it goes so far as, I mean, like, maybe that's just going too far, but I think the Iron Masters, like yes, sometimes they do go as far as hunting vampires, but I kind of also imagine that like maybe the ones in Portland don't want like a turf war with vampires, so he might be aware that vampires exist in Portland, but he doesn't realize that there's a big issue with one of his packmates and one of the vampires. So, but that might be a bit too much backstory in one go.
Sorry, I figured out why he was in the club. He has the giant merit, so he is part-time as bouncer. That's
I
why.
love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Good work. I like it.
I'm glad. Sorry to put you in a corner there, but I'm glad you got a justification there.
That's the point. Yeah, that's how it works.
I like it. Okay.
We have to get Katie, your character's name is Quinn. We have to get Quinn and Lauren more connected.
Yes.
Well, Quinn's got a
My-
part-time job at one of the bars. It pays
Yeah.
just enough that she can buy groceries so that Richard doesn't kick her out.
He's not kicking her out. I think he's more kind of like, that doesn't pay enough for a nice place. Just stay here till you look for a nicer place. Don't rent don't flat share. You're a werewolf. You can't flat share with people.
You can't live with the humans. Stop it, Quinn.
Yeah, I could definitely see Lauren's start and end for each hunt being at a bar. So there
Perfect.
plenty of opportunity for overlap there.
Just united like in drinking problems.
Lauren comes
Oh.
in. I got a whiff. I was like, "You're gonna need this whole bottle. Here you go."
You could say Casimir also has a drinking problem, but it's not alcohol he was drinking. It was Vitae. And I think we were talking about this earlier, but actually no, never mind. I'll leave that as a surprise. Never mind. We talked about it internally, but for those watching, I'll leave it as a surprise.
I'm getting D&D
Mystery.
flashbacks where all the heroes meet in the tavern.
Yeah.
It all starts in the tavern. It always starts in the tavern. Can't tell me otherwise. Prove me
With the
wrong.
fight,
Yeah.
there has to be a bar fight. Otherwise, I mean, what's happening?
There you go.
Yeah. Casimir was just like, this is where it all started. I'm going here. I need to find this person.
It's kind of funny. I remember when I started playing RPGs when I was younger and like not of age to go into bars. Like the idea of like the party meeting in like a bar always seemed so like not feasible for me. And now that I'm like grown up, it's like no, that checks out. So I meet all the people. Not all of them, but compared to all the people I know. So yeah.
All right. So after everyone met and everyone got together as a pack, you quickly identified areas of Portland as your pack territory. As your pack. As your territory. And maybe 2 weeks after your pack has created themselves, after your totem has granted you its benefits, after you have all really taken to exploring your territory, you come across a new scent of a new werewolf, one that doesn't belong to your pack. And you can smell it frequently and significantly throughout the territory, almost as if this werewolf has gone around marking its territory. You guys follow it. You assume that it is another werewolf. But what happens? Do any of your spirits have anything to say? Does a wolf-blooded come to you with news? What happens? How do your characters really get involved with this?
So one of the spirits that kind of I'm bringing to the pack is a spirit of I guess like causality or kind of like almost like it sounds tacky, but like a holistic thing of like kind of like things are the way they are because they're supposed to be the way they are, kind of ideal. I guess like it's a very conceptual spirit of kind of
Let it
I
be.
almost let it be, yeah, that's it. And I named it manner of things. Like it's kind of like it's a play on like that browser web game Foreign London. Like they have like all things shall be well and all manner of things shall be well. Like even though it doesn't really specify in what way, so it's named after that. And it's kind of saying that the werewolf is like the person that we've picked the scent up from is meant to be there, which to Richard isn't very useful because the spirit is sometimes useful, but in this particular case, it's kind of like, yeah, but everything is supposed to be there at some point, but you're not telling me why it's there. And he's been trying to go through the shadow to find like spiritual traces, I suppose, to kind of see if the territory has also been marked like kind of in a tangible, well, not tangible, but like in a very noticeable way spiritually, I guess.
Okay. I'm taking notes, so if you guys hear me click clapping. Okay, so this spirit told Richard that this werewolf is meant to be here, which Richard doesn't really know what to
It's
do
very
with.
vague. Like it's kind of like it's kind of like yeah, I'm meant to be here too, but like it doesn't really specify it an awful lot. But I mean,
Sure.
but that's sort of like the whole like living in the moment philosophy. Like, if like yeah, that's great, but like it still doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, basically.
Sure.
But the idea of it like not being anything. I mean, hopefully, like, I'm not stepping on your toes, like as a storyteller, but like the fact that it's not anything that's like a perversion of like kind of like how things were supposed to happen. I guess I don't know. Honestly, vague.
Sure. Sure.
And to fill in the blanks, he's been sort of like stepping into the shadow more to try to kind of see if there's any kind of parallels between like where the werewolf has like left its markings, like if it's also like left symbols like in the shadow. If there's anything that I can follow that makes any sense, I guess.
Okay. We will come back to that.
Sure.
Um, who else? Anyone else? How do they? What do they do? How do they figure out about this?
A quick question of clarification. Is this the time when we can introduce pack members?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
I didn't have anything to follow up with that on that.
Oh, I'm like sitting here like, oh, okay, what's the pack member?
What do you got? Okay. I got a half-baked idea. Maybe it'll turn into a full idea. So Quinn absolutely does not like the idea of this new werewolf in her space because, she's kind of on edge right now. Everything is suspicious. And so she knows her pack, and her pack feels fairly safe so far. But this new one, not cool. So she wants to reach out to this wolf-blooded that is a private investigator that got a little too close for comfort to figuring things out, and she sent it out that he was wolf-blooded when he was looking into her, and kind of used that as a like, this is a situation and you need to just leave it alone. But maybe you can help me out with stuff from time to time, and I'll throw some cash at you, and we'll just pretend that you didn't find me. So she wants to reach out to him to see, if maybe somebody is still tracking her, looking for her, or just anything else that he might be able to see about some newcomer.
Okay.
And he's probably the only one that knows that there is this Sasha name, and that he should tell her immediately if he hears it.
Okay.
So I think Lee would consult the Dewdrop Spirit, which I went and found a name. There's, I think the spirit could be called, it's Herse, literally Dewdrop Goddess, Greek mythology.
Oh,
Herse.
I like.
So Herse is something that it can be quite spread out. It lays on different objects, and so it knows a lot of different spirits. And so Lee would probably go through talking to various spirits to see if they'd seen anything. He has a gift from being an Ithaeer called Spirit Whispers, where he can basically force an answer to a simple question, I believe. So if he thought he was on the right track, he might use that
Okay.
when talking to a spirit.
I guess for Casimir, I just had a funny idea actually. His I guess wolf spirit touchstone forest wolf probably alerted him to this intruder because I mean, being a wolf spirit that's good at tracking and detecting when territory has been cut into, but uh, an indirect echo of Casimir's recent past with all that vampire stuff came in where I was thinking he came across Forest Wolf, the spirit he knew, and a blood spirit arguing about like the blood spirit is supposedly wanting to be like, hey, I know Casimir, and I know that this strange werewolf might be trouble for his territory, and Forest Wolf doesn't trust the blood spirit, and the blood spirit's there because like knows Casimir because when he was hanging around vampires, he attracted that kind of blood resonance, so it knows him, and I can see Casimir being a little bit leery of it, but maybe accepting the help of this blood spirit to help with the investigation and potentially the hunt as well. And I'm thinking like maybe the blood spirit wants to follow along because where werewolves go, blood will follow.
Yeah.
True.
Not wrong.
That's a safe bet. On that note, I'm thinking Lauren would try to do some tracking of her own, and I could definitely see in pursuit of this unknown werewolf, she comes across a human who is very, very badly injured. Unclear, if the werewolf is the source of the injuries or not, but she would probably take that person to a contact that she would have made in the years prior, someone who's good at patching people up, not because she needs it, but because sometimes other people that don't heal quite as quickly as she does need a little patching up without getting authorities involved. And I'd actually like to add that street doctor to the pack. And then once the individual is patched up, she'd probably try and find out if they like what happened to them, because they were directly on the trail of someone she was try to find out if the werewolf was behind it or not.
Okay, so in order to bring these into the pack, you guys have to spend some of your points. Everyone starts with 10 points. You guys can combine points to go in on things together. Like, if you really like the idea of the blood spirits, everyone can, think, let's see. Spirits. Why can't I find where I put this?
It's in the important information channel.
Is it? Oh, it is. It's literally the first thing right there. So spirits cost 5 dots. So, for example, everyone could put a dot in towards the blood spirit. Same for any of the buddy spirits, etc., etc. So you guys let me know who you really want to bring into the pack. I know Morgan said he really wanted to bring in the street doctor. Cal mentioned really wanted to bring in.
Two spirits, yeah. Because I wasn't aware that we share the pool. Like, I thought it was like everybody gets 10 points, and that's like kind of for your friends to bring in. I guess
think
if we're
everyone
gonna.
does get 10. But
Everyone does get 10, but you
I
can
see, okay.
put in points together. So like,
Cool. Okay.
if you want to bring in a spirit, not everyone, like one person doesn't have to spend 5. Everyone could spend 1, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Is the street doctor human or blooded?
Straight up vanilla human. So that's only a couple point cost there, but also means that can't share too much,
And also unbreakable. It's not.
Yeah.
Might be good to have a doctor in case we encounter some silver.
Yeah.
Well, but then you have to
Fair.
explain why that silver hurt you so much in particular. I don't think
Obviously,
doctors
the street
believe that
doctor. The street doctor does not ask questions.
Street doctor does not ask questions.
I will say a blood spirit is kind of like a doctor because they can teach the gift of blood, which has that very powerful clot facet, which increases your how much you heal every whatever cycle, 15 minutes or whatever.
It's true. Honestly, a lot of my thought of the street doctor's resource is less for the medical side because werewolves, and more for this is the person that people go to when they need to be patched up and not draw the attention of the authorities, which is maybe a good resource information to have access to in your territory.
But would they share that information?
If he's in the pack, I suppose so.
With the right leverage.
I like the private investigator. I also wanted to mention that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm definitely leaning towards the two more physical members.
Yeah. Even if I buy the the blood spirit, I would have enough for a wolf blood, which I'm also thinking of. But I think, are we only introducing just one potential character at this point?
You can introduce as many as you want. There's also the hunt scenes coming up, where you can introduce more characters.
Okay. Think a little bit about that. Yeah, I may. I'll think about the blood spirit, but I think I may definitely want to include some kind of wolf-blooded who, okay, now I've talked to my spirit half, my spiritual allies, as it were. Now it's time to do some groundwork investigation to track down if anyone has seen anything strange. Maybe look at, I don't know, maybe try to find community members who know things. And maybe run into a wolf-blooded there who maybe just who knows about the world of werewolves and is like, yeah, I mean, there's a werewolf in here. I don't know what they're doing here. Something like that.
Okay.
I know that's a little vague. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let me catch up on some note keeping. So we have the street doctor, who is just a vanilla human. Would they be a low skilled human, a skilled human, or a highly skilled human?
I think there's one where I think it's highly skilled, costs 2 points. And yeah, I was planning to pay that 2 points, so highly skilled.
Highly skilled is three.
Yeah, we'll do the 3.
Okay. And then the private investigator is wolf-blooded, so that's another 4.
I am happy to throw in 4 of my points for that.
Okay, so we have spent 47 out of 50. We've spent 7.
And then I think we had the 2 spirits that Richard made acquaintance with, right?
Yes. Well, is it 2 spirits that you made acquaintance with, or is it your buddy spirit and the spirit of Let It Be?
No, so he's got the ambitious totem, which right now can't really do anything. It doesn't have any powers yet. It's very, very small. So it's more like kind of there for set dressing and annoying him, basically. The 2 spirits he has, one is, I think it's less Let It Be and more kind of that, I'll leave that up to you as a storyteller also, if he's sort of going, into the completely wrong direction, it will let him know, that's not where you're supposed to be headed, it's still being vague, but it'll be that's not quite it, you kind of have to, but asking it kind of, what should I be doing, it wouldn't answer that, it would just be kind of saying, you're supposed to be doing something different, but I can't tell you what that is. That kind of thing, I guess. I'll put like in the chat. Like once I put like into actual words in my head, I guess. The other one is a bit more direct. It's a spirit that controls kind of like electric currents. It's kind of takes the shape of like an electric eel that's kind of like floating in the air, kind of like in well, the shadow at least. Like wouldn't be floating in the air in the material world unless something has gone horribly wrong. And it's called dancing current, and it kind of like I guess um, it can blow a fuse. It can turn can turn lights on, off. It can it just has power, I guess, like over electric currents and whether they flow or not flow, and whether they get too strong or too weak, that kind of thing.
So spirits cost 5 points each.
Yep, so that's the 10 for both of them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's very just it's like I'll just take two of the same.
Let's edit this. You now have. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, you guys will hear me talk to myself a lot.
No worries.
No problem.
I'm sorry, what did you say the first spirit's name was?
Manner of things.
Spirit costs 5. And the second spirit's name?
Dancing current.
Okay, so Asher and Wes, you guys still have your 10 points. Katie, you have 6, and Morgan has 7.
I was thinking more about it. I think I actually will sort of put this to the group because a spirit like packmate is, well, we already have a few spirit packmates, but would everyone be comfortable with a spirit of blood as a packmate?
I think it's really cool, actually.
I think it's very cool, and I think Richard. I mean, kind of like I also like one of the reasons I gave him two spirits. Kind of like I think he's very fascinated by the spirit world, so he's interested in like any kind of spirit that will tag along, even if it's technically like a bad idea. But he'll be like, no, this is interesting. I want to see what happens. So,
Yeah. All right, then I'll spend 5 of my 10 points on a blood spirit, and the name of which is to be determined.
Okay.
And I was actually thinking too. I think it would be interesting if maybe, because did someone already mention that they had the idea of maybe this werewolf hurt someone or caused trouble?
Yep.
Yeah.
To expand on that, what if I'm thinking of adding a wolf blood too, but I was thinking of this being one of those weird wolf blooded that was human but dramatically failed their lunacy check and they've had to adjust to becoming wolf blooded, and yeah, and I think maybe he's this wolf blooded is right now I'm thinking he was just a chef. He's just just trying to live his life and everything. He's about Casimir's age. Casimir's like late 20s. And I think that puts me at 9 out of 10 points spent. And you know what? I might as well go all in. A low-skilled human is 1 point, so maybe maybe the sister of that wolf-blooded, who's still human, doesn't know anything, but she's also sort of tagged along.
Yeah, I was actually going to say if if we want the person that Lauren found injured to be that wolf-blooded, I could actually go in 50-50 with you on the cost, and you can save a little bit of your points there if you want.
Let me see if there's any. So if we went 50-50 and on the cost, that would be
2 for each of
2
you.
points.
Mhm.
2 for each of us. Yeah. Then maybe, if I do my math right here, hang on. 5, 7. So that'd leave me 3 points. Then I guess I would, at that point, just put 3 points into a highly skilled human, which is the sibling of that wolf-blooded.
Also, I know I don't get to say anything because I spent my points already, but I would love for the Dachshund to be like one. So he can have animals part of the pack, and just even just like as a spike, and if I can be just like say like nobody pays attention to like I don't know a lap dog like when you're on the street. I don't know. I like that idea a lot. I mean, you need to do it. But I just feel like one point. I just love that.
That would be fantastic.
Oh, there is a small animal option. I didn't
Yeah.
even see that. Alright, I'm spending a point on the dachshund.
Alright.
Nice.
Unofficial alpha, and I'm sure whoever winds up being the actual alpha just loves that. If we even have an alpha. I don't know.
We will have an official and like the unofficial alpha, and like they'll constantly fight over who's the official.
Alright, guys. Bark, 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 bark. No! Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah, Lauren's loyalty is definitely with the small dog.
Back to your crate.
You heard her. She wants food. We're not going hunting until I give this dog some food.
This puppy's gonna get fat. And then how is it gonna hunt?
Well, that's why she needs to hunt, just running like it's the exercise.
The dog's name is Oreo.
Oh, I love it.
Alright, I hope my keyboard isn't too clicky.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, me neither.
Alright, so we now have Katie and Morgan both with 5 points, and Asher has his 10 left.
How much does it cost for like a normal wolf?
Yeah, it's funny because they don't actually have like animals except for small animals on the chart.
Which is odd, right? You would think like wolf would at least be listed.
I would say 1, because small animals and low skilled humans are about the same, so I'd say 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say this, that the pack describes like it's interesting how they describe actual like wolves as packmates, because they say that wolves understand Uratha better than any wolf-blooded can, even because they're all hunt. They don't have a human side.
I was thinking about spending 5 on the Dewdrop Spirit, spy stuff, surreptitiously, not. And then another 5, just grab 5 wolves.
Yeah,
Meta wolf
you
pack.
can do it.
Wolf pack.
And they mostly stay out of the city limits, but they can help us if there's something going on. They probably will know more. And then they can also maybe help us in combat. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I was tempted to put wolf as part of the. I think do other things there, and she's like a rank spirit, not be to involve. I just want to get on her relationship with cat, and you find for like spirit wolf pack or something.
I don't know about everyone else, but you dropped out a bunch from
Okay. I couldn't tell if it was me or if it was him.
Sorry. I think my video connection just went like down the drain. I was just saying I was tempted to have my wolf buddy spirit be part of the pack, but I think the blood spirit was just so interesting, and I see a situation where maybe instead his wolf buddy spirit is still like connected to him, but maybe she's forming her own spirit pack of wolves somewhere else.
I love how we like had the option of adding another werewolf, and we were like, nah, we'll just take the ducks and a bunch of wolves.
No, just the idea of an
We'll be
NPC werewolf
fine.
in the pack is odd to me.
What do you say, Katie?
Just the idea of an NPC werewolf in a pack is.
It's true, yes.
Yeah.
Also, I mean,
agree.
we're fresh out of all non-pure firstborn, so
Well, technically. Sky Hunter may still be out there, who knows?
Okay, so Katie and Morgan, you both have 5 points left. Do you want to spend them now, or do you want to hold on to them and see what might come up later?
I think I'll see what we might need later.
same.
Okay. So we come back to Richard, who is looking in the shadow to see if there's any correlation between what's been marked in the material and what's been marked in the shadow. The scent is still there. It's different. It's more colored by emotion, fear, panic, terror. You can smell all of these things almost like footprints leading you in the same direction that the werewolf scent had in the material. So whether or not he meant to mark the shadow, the werewolf definitely marked the shadow.
But obviously, I'm assuming that there's no way of telling whether it's his fear or the fear that he's spreading, basically. Like I wouldn't know the difference, right?
You can roll me wits and empathy.
Right. How does the dice commands thing work? Do I just enter?
It is exclamation point, roll, and then however many you have, I think. Or no, it's... Hold on. This one's different. So this one is tag at dice cord, roll 10 dice, however many.
Also, just print roll. Oh, I see. And you said wits and empathy?
Yes.
Okay. Can I add the natural motives, or is that too vague?
I will give you that, yes. So that's +1.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
You have to tag the...
Oh, I see.
You have to tag it first.
So 2 successes.
So you can tell that it feels more personal than external. It definitely feels like it is this werewolf's fear and not the fear it's spreading.
Okay. I guess I'll definitely share that with the packmates, like in terms of like that. We shouldn't try to immediately like harry the werewolf, or like kind of maybe it's somebody who's just changed, maybe somebody who's being hunted, maybe it's somebody who needs help.
Now Quinn feels a little bad for them.
Yeah,
They're
the
not
case.
feeling well.
If they're
We should
afraid,
keep an eye out. We should keep an eye out in case there's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren would still be waiting to question the injured person she found. Doesn't trust it. Not a catastrophe? I don't believe it.
Lauren, your injured person tells you that they got caught in a fight between a giant creature and something they couldn't see. Actually, they would frame it as being attacked by a wild animal, but they would also register that they kind of like startled the animal. They stumbled into the animal's territory. Like if you go swimming in an ocean, you can't really blame a shark for biting you, even though it sucks. But that's what they would tell you.
I should definitely relay that to everybody.
Acting more on instinct than anything else. It very well could be someone who's had their first change and it's just very jumpy. Or maybe a very low or high harmony werewolf whose triggers are very passive right now.
Mm.
I think Richard might suggest that that the blood spirit might know like what who's fighting who, because I mean like the blood spirit will be out for like looking for blood, right? That'd be point of interest.
I asked the blood spirit where if it could detect any very recent resonance and if it was there to see what happened, what it could tell me.
It. Sorry, I'm looking something up real quick. Forgive me.
No, no worries.
It would be able to tell you that most of the blood belongs to the strange werewolf and not the injured victim.
So it was definitely attacked or attacking something and got the worst end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Lauren's quite good at tracking, but so she could always try and go back on the trail if we don't have any other more direct leads.
Yeah. This almost feels like maybe some kind of elaborate trap is what Casimir's thinking. He probably would send the blood spirit around to ask the blood spirit to sort of watch from the sides, look out for anything as we're pursuing this.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to add before we move to Lauren for tracking?
I think if Lauren's gonna go tracking, Quinn will go with her, just so that she's not going alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is everyone going with her? I saw.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Pack
teamwork.
time.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're rolling dice for this, is this our first pack dynamics teamwork action?
This
Hey.
is. Yes, it is.
Yay.
Ooh. So is it a survival? Cunning or
It is going to be stamina and survival.
or wits? Sorry, stamina, survival. Got it.
Stamina, survival.
I have a specialization in hunting. Does that apply in this case?
It would, yes.
Excellent.
Oh, this is terrible. I've got 2 in stamina and none in survival, so let's just get 1 die. I'm so sorry.
Dynamics 5 gives us +3 dice, right?
I believe you are right. I am actually opening that book up now.
So that'll give me 9 total. Maybe someone has higher and they can.
It'll give me 8.
Definitely not Quinn.
Yeah, I will be at 10 total.
Stamina, survival. Yeah, I'll be at 8.
So I guess I can roll my dice that you'll add to your teamwork.
Yeah, so everyone rolls, and then we'll add the successes as teamwork bonus dice.
So
right?
who has the highest between Lauren and Casimir?
I believe Lauren does with 10.
I think Lauren, yeah, I have
Okay.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone else can roll their dice pool and
That's with the pack dynamics bonus. I don't know if you were counting that already.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did, yeah, I did.
so everyone can roll their dice.
It's plus 3, right? I can.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, for the rest of us, it's bonus
Good
damage,
no.
right?
That's not great.
Plus the bonus?
Plus the bonus.
I'm so sorry.
3.
You did fine.
No, I did not.
Mine's probably not going to be much better.
Okay,
Great.
so I see 4, 6, 8. So Morgan, you can add 8 to Lauren's dice pool.
That's a
That's
few
amazing.
dice.
That
This
is a
the
few dice.
best. Wow.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
If we were going
no.
hunting, I should have said we should go into a different form, because this is all based on our human.
Well, I don't know that you need to anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Fair though, definitely fair. I had in my head that this would be in Urhan.
Yeah, that's it's a very exceptional success.
Oh my god.
I like how it even adds a special message for that number of successes.
Oh, it'll yell at you
Totally.
if you roll really poorly too. I see it call people dairy farmers all the time. It's pretty fun. Jesus. Okay, so you track this wolf without incident. Period. You manage to track it through the very edges of the city back towards the wilderness. And it seems that you come upon it as it's about to start stepping sideways into the histle. What do you guys do? It is, they're human at this point, pointedly.
I actually had a question. I'm a blood talon with the Sacred Hunt right. Could we have decided that I had conducted the Sacred Hunt right with the blood talon benefit on this?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see why not.
It makes sense that we would have done it.
Yeah, it makes
It
sense.
is the first hunt, right? Yeah.
It
And
is the first hunt,
It's time to
yeah.
roll, so it makes sense that the Bloodhound is calling it, so yeah.
And you don't
Yeah, and
have to roll anything for that, right? It's just the right.
when you do the right normally, I know the first hunt like
You don't
this whole
really
sequence
roll.
we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually with rights you have to do extended rolls, but let me
It just
double-
takes.
I
It's
think
like
basically
10
it's
minutes or
just
something.
how long does this take?
Yeah.
That kind of roll.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
we can presume it.
That
Yeah,
eventually you
and eventually
succeed.
succeeds.
Yeah. Conducting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
And
perfect.
the specific condition that you get for the Blood Talon version is grants your character the ability to perceive the renowned brands of werewolf prey. She can see them as a clear silver glow or a fiery red for pure, and can read the prey's value in each renown with a reflexive action. So, what's the deal with this? So we came across this werewolf, right? No.
You did come across this werewolf, and you can see all of its renown. You can see a couple of marks for purity, and then you can see one for honor.
That might be another Rahu.
Yeah, I would say that's Lauren's exact renown as well.
When we see it, Quinn wants to use Know Thy Prey to know every name that the prey is known by, so that I can call to it, like, by name, to say, hey, like, stop. What are you doing?
Just to be sure, do we see these as Forsaken renown brands or the pure style?
They are Forsaken renown brands.
Okay.
So because we are in the present moment, I will have you go ahead and roll for that with Socialize and Honor.
So that is 9 dice. This is what Quinn is here for.
Yeah, nice.
Can't chase anybody, but I can talk to them.
Wow, that's an exceptional.
Wow, another exceptional success. So I'll give you guys the conditions because they might come up in play. For the exceptional success, you guys can take conditions. Steadfast, inspired, informed, etc. Any beneficial condition that you want. So Morgan and Katie, you guys can pick one. So that succeeded exceptionally, which means that you gain an additional piece of knowledge that someone somewhere knows about this prey. So you know instantly that the name is Benjamin Barnett, and you know that he recently hurt 3 people.
Okay. Then Quinn will just, hopefully before he finishes crossing over, Benjamin, wait.
And he'll kind
I know
of
you
jump
don't want
in,
to hurt anybody else.
look
Let us
over
help
his
you.
shoulder. And he'll kind of hold up his hands and say, I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I didn't mean it.
Think we can help you. What happened?
I don't know. I started seeing some really strange things, and then things started feeling overwhelming, and then I don't know. I blacked out. It wasn't even black. It was red. I saw red, and that's all I remember is red, just red everywhere, red, and now I'm here, and I'm naked, and I'm bloody, and I don't know what happened, and I didn't mean to hurt anyone. And he starts just breaking down into sobs.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Definitely want to try to calm him down so that he doesn't work himself
Can,
into a rage.
can I help? I mean, was there something that really help action, but I don't know.
You can maybe.
Yeah, just let you. Yeah, I'll let you do it because you were talking to him anyway. Yeah.
If he does go into a rage, I can probably do something about that.
Maybe someone can roll empathy to calm him down.
I have 1 empathy.
I have 3, so if anybody.
That's probably still a Quinn thing, right?
Lauren has 2, but she'd probably still be in her hand just in case he tries to bolt.
Like a presence and empathy?
Or manipulation, whichever is better for you.
I'm not trying to lie to him.
I mean, my highest would be 6. I don't know what your highest would be.
I do 6. Mine would be 5, so if you got 6.
Are you sure? Okay. I mean, I hope I don't mess this up. I mean, yeah, it could be. How does that work again?
I mean, I think it would be like what we just did with the tracking, right? You both try and talk them down at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like so. I guess we'll all try to calm him down, and Casper would be like,
another teamwork.
Calm down. I'm sure that'll be helpful.
So I guess.
It's a
so I
good
guess.
thing that I wasn't rolling that.
So we're all gonna roll teamwork again, with Quinn being the one who does the final roll.
With Richard.
Richard's going to be the main actor.
Okay. Oh, so am I rolling to help with this? Am I rolling presence and empathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I assume we're all saying our bit, like, this is...
this happened to us. This happened to us too.
It gets better, dude. Yeah.
I
got 3 successes on that.
Nice.
All right,
Quinn
so
just kind of stutters apparently.
3, 2.
No, what happened is
I forgot to add. I forgot to add the teamwork.
Oh, I did too. I got it. Let me re-roll that. Or let me roll.
You can just roll another 3.
More dice.
Yeah, 3 more dice.
Okay, it didn't matter for me. But...
Hey, you could. It's good to check. Nope, no more.
What happens if you choose to critically fail on a teamwork?
That would be weird.
Lauren.
So yeah, only 3 successes from me.
And Lauren is in Urhan and is not
Yeah,
participating.
Lauren
right?
would not be in a position to contribute to the calming efforts.
So I'm adding the 5, but not my 3, right? Because when I'm helping somebody else, right?
Well, you're the primary, right?
You're
Yeah.
adding everybody.
You add
else's
everyone else's successes to your pool.
Okay.
Oh, and then,
And then
you're
have
talking
the
about you add the
calm
3
going
from
down 'cause she
pack
has the
dynamics?
flashback.
I don't add
Instead.
3, right? Because that's...
I think you would.
Okay,
Let me
fair enough.
pack dynamics.
Yeah, anytime you participate in a teamwork action, it doesn't specify that it's only if you're the secondary actor. So, as
Right.
the primary
Okay.
actor, you'd still add that +3.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Yay!
Okay. So you can also take a beneficial condition. So at first, everyone starts talking and he seems overwhelmed and he starts looking at everyone and starts backing up. But then you guys start to make sense of it. You talk one at a time. I've been through this. We went through this. Here's my story. Here's my story. And eventually he does calm down. He still seems very shaken, but he can at least speak. He's listening. And so he looks at you all and he says, so that's what I am now. I'm a werewolf now.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we all have always been. It just sometimes it takes a long while to come out, and it's not always great, but then what in life is, and I'm really sorry that it happened the way it did for you.
It was out of our control. In my case, it was overall beneficial, but it's not something you could have prepared for.
He kind of frowns and he says, well, what do I do now?
That's a big question. That's I mean, for one, and like Richard kind of like has that moment of like where you can start. Like I'm not an elder. Like I can't strut somebody. And I mean, would Richard out of character know like more like the elders of the city who would usually kind of talk people through that kind of thing, or
So I think we're it, right?
You are it.
Oh, good.
We are the adults in the room.
Yeah, I think any other werewolves are outside the city bounds.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for starters, it seems obvious, but don't tell people about werewolves being real like that. It freaks people out. B, it could get you arrested, and then you can, either you end up in jail or you end up getting so stressed that all that happens again and more people get hurt, and then it just becomes this chain reaction. And I mean, as a werewolf, since we're sort of existing to if you explain it in a way that still makes sense to humans, like in the real, humans, like kind of, by nature, we kind of, even if we don't want to, like something inside of us does want to hurt things, and it's terrible, it's an awful thing, but we all tend to direct it in a way that's constructive, I guess. There's a lot of other things in the world besides werewolves. I mean, it's going to get like a lot wilder, like vampires and ghosts, and like I mean, it might have sounded bizarre a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, right now, it doesn't seem as strange, probably.
I think Lee might pop in and say, let's just focus on werewolves for now.
Let's focus on werewolves. I mean, the point being, there's all things that try to upset how things are, that try to hurt people, and we can at least try to make the world a better place by bottling up the desire to hurt things and hurt the things that need to taken care of is a bit of a rough way of putting it, but kind of things that hurt other people, I guess.
We are. Oh, go ahead.
Mm.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think at that point Richard kind of like, I mean, he's still like a president. Like he's not supposed to be kind of like doing the sales pitch. He's not. He's good at like talking to spirits and what. He's kind of he's usually operating on the moon logic of the spirits. So he's not really good at like putting across like in a human way. So I think it like looks at Quinn because Quinn is very good like kind of speaking to
Quinn's
people.
just
Like,
kind of watching Richard stumble a little bit. Like,
I think Casimir would then cut in a little bit gently and say, the big picture is that we exist. We exist to maintain the border between the physical realm and the realm of spirits. We are supposed to keep spirits from messing with the flesh, and we're supposed to keep the flesh from messing with the spirits. They're supposed to be kept separate, because otherwise, terrible things happen, and our job gets harder. And that's what we were built for. There's a whole legend that we don't really have time to get into right now, but it is quite literally what we were made for, to hunt, to keep the boundaries separated.
Lauren would get out of Urhan at this point and go back to Hishu and pull out her phone. Probably just send a message to the group chat that I presume the pack has together on some platform or another.
Of course.
And be like, okay, but what do we do with him?
You're just texting right there in front of.
Yep, just from Urhan straight to Hishu to phone in hand. What do we do though?
adopt him? Like I don't know. Like we can't just let him go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, well, we can do what, I'm not going to stand there and also text back.
Some clothes.
No,
Yeah.
not texting.
I actually would agree with Quinn and say let's start him on the basics of just getting him back together again, so to speak, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's bring him to Richard's apartment, I think, and just kind of like get him cleaned up, get him like clothes and that kind of thing. I'm assuming he's still covered in blood or something. No, probably not, but like, I don't know. I mean, is he?
No, I think he's
what shape is he in?
If we can find the people he hurt, if they're actually hurt and not, a little worse than that, we do have a doc who could patch them up potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the one that was, out in the alleyway or whatever. But if there were other people,
yeah.
There's two more.
Whatever the case, someone should stay with him.
Yeah.
And we'll watch, make sure this doesn't happen again.
I would say he would definitely come with us, yeah.
I'll stay with them. And whoever else. I can pull them out of rage if needed.
That's true.
We'll find a place for him to stay. Probably can't
Actually,
go back.
What phase of the moon is it then? Was I right in guessing that he's a Rahu?
It is, yes, you are correct.
I guess that could be an incentive for Casimir, another one of the two Fullmen here, to be like, yeah, I'll help you in case this other Rahu gets a little out of hand.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, and I'll go with the other two. Although, like, Richard is a bit concerned about, like, leaving his charge, like, with two Rahu, one of whom might go berserk any second.
Dad. I'm just
like, I'm
my friends, okay?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how about we take him back somewhere secure and safe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then we decide what to do next.
Well, once we get him somewhere safe, I think it would be a good idea to just sit him down and just go through it bit by bit. Tell him, Silver bad. You have triggers that will make you get into that rage state again. There are ways to fix that, so on and so forth.
I think long term, probably tell him a little bit about the tribes, kind of, if that's something he wants to look into.
And Caspian will make a point and say, "Stay away from the pure."
Yes.
Good blending, bad idea.
He's pounding on my office door.
Oh.
That's probably a topic. Probably. Or a werewolf, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, so we should, and then Lee and I will look for the people who got hurt, I guess. I mean, or should we go with him first so he can at least kind of like come to his senses to the point that if he remembers where his rampage started?
We could divide the pack.
Yeah.
At least one person stays with him, and the rest.
I'm keeping one of our Rahu.
I'll go with the freshly changed Uratha and Quinn.
How specific do we want to get with further actions here? Like, I think we know the broad strokes of what we'd like to do. Is that sufficient for the first hunt, or do we want to lay out really specific plans for how we try and help this person put their life back together and start a new one built at the same time?
No, you guys have actually, that is the first hunt, so you guys have completed that, and I figured you guys could asynchronously come together and figure out what you wanted to do with this werewolf, figure out more about them, whatever, offline, and we can go through that before next session.